extremely locked in, and I think like he's going to make it hard on Fly. Like, you know, Nick's going to go out there and play like balls to the wall. He's going to give everything he's got to you know, put himself in the conversation, and he's in the conversation, but to I think keep it. So it'd be interesting to see how he plays. I'm excited for him.
Do you think he had a little chip on his shoulder because
if you know Nick McCloud, he carries a chip, a whole bag of them around all the time. It's what, you know, gives him a chance to play, because he doesn't ever go into any situation doubting himself. He goes into every situation with absolute confidence that he can go out there and that he's a starter in this league and that he should be playing, and that's his mentality since day one here. And that continues to be his mentality, and at the same time, he's a great teammate. At the same time, he's the guy who, again, hey Nick, I need you today to play money. I need you today to play the nickel, and he just does whatever you ask him to do. But he's really, really ultra competitive, ultra confident that he's a guy, he's the guy, and again, he'll get his chance this weekend to be out there, and we'll see how it looks.
Jerome,
Sorry if you've been asked this, what have you thought of Flott at outside corner?
You know, I thought that he was picking up momentum, and then he had the little setback. You know, so disappointed that like right now, we'll see how it goes during the week.
Setback with the quad.
Setback with the quad. I thought he was starting to play his best football, and then he had the quad. So hopefully we get him back soon, so that he can get back in there and show us what he is. And yeah, so hopefully we just get him back soon.
Is there a chance that when he's back, you would have him working in the slot again, or do you like what Drew's doing there and you see Flott now as an outside guy?
Like what Drew's doing in the slot, and that's beside the point. Yeah. But we will obviously need flexibility to move pieces around and to match up. And so Flott is a guy that gives you that flexibility to match up by game plan and by week. And so that's absolutely something that he will be ready for.
if there's a bag of chips lying around that Nick McCloud doesn't have on his shoulder, Dane Belton carries those on his shoulder. How do you look at the other position battle, I would say, in your group between him and Nuben?
Yeah, and see, and then that one's, Nuben hadn't had a chance to be out there very much. And, you know, he got his first real action in the game and, you know, did some good stuff, but thought Dane played well too. So, you know, that position is still, like, we're still working through that one. They're both going to get reps. That's my alarm.
That's for you.
It was to tell me that I had to be in here, and I didn't turn it off. I was walking, and I said I better set an alarm so I'm not late for you guys.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So we'll see how that plays out. Dane has had a solid camp, had a really good camp, and then Nuben just hadn't been able to show us as much. You know what he's got, but he'll get that chance going forward.
What Nuben show you in the game?
Really physical. You know, there's a play where, you know, the guard's pulling and he goes and knocks him on his ass, like big boy ball. You know, he's really competitive, really confident. Just got to, again, let that play out and see how it plays out.
There was scenes in Hard Knocks where, I forget, you and Bowen loved Nuben. What was it about Nuben that you guys really
you
liked?
just watch the tape and even here, his intensity and his energy and his focus just jumps off the tape at you when you watch the tape. And then when you get him here live, you see how important football is to him and how much he cares and how much of an impact he can have on others because he cares so much. And that's something that we were absolutely intrigued by, and that's why he's here.
Tre Banks, in his effort to be a true number one and guard best on best, how do you think he's doing throughout camp, including the week against the Lions where you finally got to face another team?
Yeah, you know, Tay continues to take steps and to grow and mature. You know, we hope that he's going to turn into one of those true number ones that you just say, hey, we put him on that guy and we feel good. Like, not that he's going to hold him to no catches because that's not realistic, but that, like, they're going to play an even game between the two of them, whoever their number one receiver is. we keep pushing him to that, and hopefully, he gets there.
Was he excited that he played the other night?
Say what?
Was he excited that he was playing the other
Oh
night?
yeah,
It's kind of surprised us.
anytime you go, you get a chance to go on the grass, Tay is ready to go and likes it and is excited to be out there.
So if you guys wind up at some point, maybe week 1, starting, counting your nickel as your starters, 2 rookies in the slot and free, and a second-year guy in Banks, how would you feel about having a group that inexperienced rolling out there?
We have the group we have,
Yeah.
and I'm excited about the group. And I think the group is going to play hard. I think they're going to compete. I think the group is going to go out there and be confident. And they may be young, but I think what they lack in experience, they'll make up for in competitiveness and want to. So I think I'm excited to see it.
Are any? I'm sorry, go
Is
ahead.
this a big? Obviously, you try to coach every year. You want to, you put in a lot of effort. But when you have a really young group like this, and you see the talent that you're trying to pull out of these guys, what are the challenges for you of that? You know what I mean? Like,
Finding
there's
that
not an Adori back there. There's not
Right.
an Axe back there. You know what I mean?
Right. Finding that fine line of how much do you give them and what's just enough for them to play their best. Like, don't overload them with information, but give them enough to play. Then you try to always walk that fine line of what's the right amount of information for them, because you don't want them to be bogged down in their mind thinking through things that don't matter, but you want them to have enough information to help them play, and it's that fine line. And then at the end of it, the thing that they got to know is what we have is youth and enthusiasm and young legs and ability, and we're going to lean on that at the end of anything, that we're going to lean on that ability, that enthusiasm, that want to.
Jerome, are any of the depth guys standing out to you or making a push? Tre Hawkins,
Tre
David
played
Long.
really well. The other night was the player of the game for the team internally. So he played really well. D'Lo played. David Long played really well the other night. I thought that Darnay Holmes played really well, and I know he also played well on special teams. So all those guys are keeping themselves like in the conversation and in the mix.
Why was Tre player of the game? Like, specifically, what stood out to you when you went back, watched the film?
Really competitive in one-on-one situations. Made some really good plays in one-on-one coverage. Came up and supported the run, and just had a really solid, really good game.
Jerome, I know he's not in your room, but Bobby Okereke, can you speak to what he means to your defense in general?
He is that little bit of he's that engine for us. That he's the mouthpiece, obviously, relaying information to the defense. He's the one who's out there encouraging guys and getting them to step up and play the way we want to play. And then in the middle of the defense, his presence, his athleticism in there for me is unbelievable. What he's able to do in the pass game is like there are not many linebackers in this league with his range and his feel and space to make plays for us in the pass game. And then for him coming downhill in the run game and what he provides there, I don't want to steal from Coach Eggs, what he thinks of him, but I know for me, just like especially with a young group, having that person in the middle of the defense who is a veteran, who is wired the right way, that is talking to them, I think is huge for us.
And if I could ask for another guy who's not in your room, because your guys are facing him obviously in practice, Malik, and just kind of what he's showing you as a
Yeah, he's shown me that, like, in my mind, he's a true number one receiver in this league. Like, there are going to be some corners that are on other teams that are going to see this guy's a young player, and they're going to have their hands full, and they're going to see that, like, this dude is a real big time player, and it's been good for our guys to work against our two corners outside, to see him daily, because you don't get a play off with him. Like, even when you're in good position, he will keep closing back to the ball. He has great body control. He has great quickness. He is a legit number one receiver in my mind.
How in the world does Isaiah Simmons cover in the slot at that size?
He's so athletic.
I know, like, when they said, like, all right, we're going to make him kind of a slot corner, like, what do you think? I know he's played there at something before,
Yeah.
but
At first, I was intrigued to have him as a full-time DB. His size, his length, and his athleticism jump out. And I knew there was some work we had to do with technique, and we're still working through that with him on his technique. But I'm really excited where he is right now in camp and what he's doing for us. And I think he's going to continue to grow. I expect him to have a really productive year for us.
This might not be a question you can answer at this moment, but will you have Tre Banks travel with top receivers this year?
Yeah, we're not there yet. We'll see by game plan what we do, and obviously don't want to tip our cap on that and let everybody know what the plans are.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll see, and I'm sure Coach Bowen will have those conversations with us, and we'll do whatever he sees fit. But we're not there yet.
A couple more here. Just kind of bounce around this here. What Darnay? He's exclusively outside now, based on what we've seen. He's been previously all in the slot. His size looks like a slot guy. Why the move there? Just trying to find a home for him.
Trying to find a home for him, and to see like if he could be an outside corner. We know he can play nickel. We have years of seeing that on tape. Just wanted him to play outside, and let's see what it looks like. He played outside. I know in last year when on scout team, when we put him out at corner, he just felt like you saw a little more like of Darnay, of the guy we saw in college. So I said, well, let's see him outside. Let's keep him outside and give him a camp to just really in an off season to work outside, and let's see what it looks like.
How's it been?
It's been good. Yeah, he's done a really good job out there.
Would it help your secondary and your corner room to have like David Long's a guy who won a Super Bowl, for example, like a guy who's just seen a little bit more and can give those guys perspective? Or is that not necessary because they obviously have coaches and people who can?
You always love veteran leadership. You love a vet who's been through battles, who can help them, real world, tell them, yeah, coach says that, but here's a little other way to look at it. And I'm just being transparent with you that I know that goes on, and
you've been seeing enough.
And if they come from the right place, that is helpful. But if we have it, it's a good thing. If we don't, we still got to play. So, we will just line up and do our best and compete. And again, you may not have been over here earlier, but when you lack experience, what you usually have is more confidence, more enthusiasm, and more fresh legs, more young legs. So we're going to lean on that if that's what we have. We're going to be competitive and in your face, and let's go challenge. If we don't have that veteran presence to help us understand how to play wise, we're going to play aggressive.
Thanks, Jerome.
Thanks.